Alright, friends, family, and other creatures of the sea, welcome back to another game of StarCraft 2. Today we have Ryung in the bottom left spawning as our yellow Terran player, while on the top right as our purple Protoss we have Skillous. Lots of purple lately in these games. Love to absolutely see it. We have Skillous versus Ryung, an interesting match in a couple of ways. Of course, Ryung has been a mainstay in the GSL for a very, very long time right now. I don't know how many seasons he's been there in a row, but I'm gonna say a freaking lot, because he's just been playing so many GSLs. I guess the real break comes when he went to the military, maybe slightly afterwards, because Ryung is one of the players that did come back from the military. Had a good performance this year in Intellect Stream Masters Katowice, getting top 12 before getting knocked out by, I want to say, Rogue with a 3-1 score. Ever since then has not been quite capable of getting a performance quite up to that level. I would not say that Ryung currently is a top 12 player in the world. And on the other hand, we have Skillous here, our purple Protoss player, who has been pretty good in the past, what I want to say, 8-9 months or so. Some ups and downs. At times it felt like he was basically on the verge of becoming the best Protoss player in Europe, and then he, I don't know, he just kind of loses it, and he loses a bit of that skill level that he seemed to have before. It's difficult to say often why things happen to people, or why people perform a little bit better. Sometimes the meta, sometimes the maps, they don't quite suit them as well. Like, there can be a lot of reasons why someone kind of falls off them. What was that? You see that? It's like a bubble of ink or something like that just disappeared from the ground. I saw it in the corner of my eye, in my peripheral vision, but never quite seen something like that. This is one hell of a build order here, by the way. I love this type of build order. This is a brilliant mind game. Okay, I'm gonna try and explain this mind game as well as I can. From the Protoss perspective, of course. So, basically, right now, in the current meta, there is a lot of double gas openers going around. And double gas openers are 2 gases before the Terran gets their command center. This means they can get a fast Reaper, okay, which is, once again, is also what Ryung is doing in this game, while also getting a very fast factory. It does delay your eco a little bit here. Oh my god, this Reaper's actually gonna get 1 kill. Yeah, almost 2 kills. Now, you might be asking, why is this so smart? Well, actually what ended up happening here is, we're gonna keep following that Reaper for a bit. No, we won't. What happened here is that Skillous scouted the full wall on top of the ramp here, a double depot wall with a barracks in it as well. Skillous cannot scout the gases because of that, and will need to assume that this is a double gas opener, while in reality, this is just a fast CC into a triple Rex. And now the triple Rex also makes a crap ton of sense here, because very often when people play against a double gas opener, what you will end up seeing is that Protoss likes to play Stargate. But they are not really allowed to scout with the initial Stargate units, because any type of pressure can come so darn quickly from the Terran player. So this entire mind game out of Ryung is so well thought out, and I absolutely love this. I love this a crap ton. The only problem is that Skillous, for some reason, opened up with a fast sentry here, and is just going to use his sentry to scout quickly. Now, did build a battery, so that is still an investment that Skillous made that normally you wouldn't quite see. So that is somewhat interesting, at least. But with that hallucination scout, he's going to get so much info, and he's absolutely going to love that. It is super valuable, that information that he just got. Reaper tries to make its way in towards the main base, is going to get taken out here by the Stalker Adept Sentry combination, and Ryung can't really move across the map here. Not in a safe way, at least. It is simply not going to be possible. A couple more Marines are being produced right now, which is nice. And these Marines will make their... well, I want to say they're going to make their way across the map, but Ryung is hyper aware of what his opponent is doing. I mean, he's seen the Twilight Council, he's aware that there's at least a second gate, and this is a move, once again, I approve of. Ryung is... he's a very clever player. What he lacks for in mechanics, he makes up in brain size like twice. It's actually insane. He's a very, very clever player. So he's popping out this one Marine, sees that these Stalkers are waiting outside. Like, Skillous should be doing this. This is what the good boys do, you know? Like, if you're a good boy, you're standing outside with your Stalkers against the 3 racks. But at the same time, Ryung managed to sneak by these 7 Marines. These 7, no, this is not time to go in yet, my friend. The 3rd base isn't quite done yet. Oh, that's actually kind of sloppy. Could still try and take out this battery, I guess. Maybe 1 or 2 workers as well. Yeah. I still like the move, though. I really still like the move. We see an attack here at the same time on the front. And it means that maybe one of these Stalkers will end up falling. Good target fire out of Ryung. 2 Stalkers will end up going down. 3 workers die as well as a battery. And 5 Marines have gone down so far. Once again, an okay start for Ryung given the situation. This has been a really wild game. Like, just game decision-wise, build order-wise. I'm still just thinking about that fast sentry that Skillous built here. That's a pretty crazy call, but maybe that's just his standard response. Maybe that's just a standard response for if he believes something to be a double gas opener. That is completely possible, of course. We have charge, we have +1 as well coming in. Very low when it comes to the infrastructure. Right now, 6 minutes into the game, we're only on 3 gateways, with 3 more on the way. No robotics facility whatsoever to speak of. No secondary tech. Skillous is getting afraid. Got a worker there to throw down 2 extra gateways. And he needs to. Like, he is low on infrastructure. First 2 medevacs are about to pop out. This could get kind of dicey here right now. Charge hasn't even finished yet. Sure, sentries and stalkers are good, but against a Marine Marauder medevac army, you're gonna need more than just, what, 2 sentries and 10 stalkers. Battery position is solid as well. I do like that. Vision is okay on the left side. Right side completely blind. We're gonna need to see something there. Indeed, we do see the probe kind of move over. Interesting scanning move here. Scans the main base rather than the natural or the 3rd. That is pretty odd, and I'll explain that after this little fight. You have a stim in. Don't think this is a fight you can take near a battery. I almost would want him to kind of move into this area to force a little bit of pressure there on these probes. We have a double mine drop heading out. Skillous with quick responses there. Seeing that on the minimap is a pretty big deal. Can just start warping in a couple of stalkers in the main. As a result of that, indeed gets 2 more gateways as well. So the reason why scans in the main base are rare and why scans in the natural are a lot more common is because a scan in the main base it doesn't necessarily reveal any more info, right? You see the 2 gases that are always being taken, and then if there's extra tech in the main base, you get your info. But in the natural, if there's no forward gas, that means that it can be Colossus, which is a huge tell. So often you see people scan the natural. Now, I love this little push here. I feel like the mine's rotated towards the left side. Super battery is being activated with the Guardian Shield as well. It's going to be a difficult nut to crack here for Ryung. And he will not quite crack it. Not yet, at least. These mines are just in vision. Oh, there's an observer there. I was like, man, where's this vision coming from? Observer with the army. Marines are running a little bit lower right now. The medevacs are running out of energy at this point. 1-1 upgrades against just +1. Good blink out of Skillous. Needs to be careful, though, that he doesn't chase a bit too hard. Stalkers are starting to fall. 2 stalkers. Sentries going down as well. Battery still on the far back. We're on 10 gateways, I believe. With a robotics facility done as well. With a robo-bay done on top of that. So let me explain that scan thing one more time. So basically, the only thing that you can get by scanning the main base is by spotting tech that is built in the main. But there's no real chance. I mean, the chance of the tech being in the main and the natural is about as big, right? Like, that's just luck. It's like a 50-50 almost. However, when it comes to the gases in the main are always taken. So there is no info that you're getting there. While the gases in the natural, if 3 of them are taken, or if 1 of them is taken, so 3 in total, that means it's charged with Stalker. However, if 4 of them are taken, that could mean either a fast Templar Archives, or a quick Colossi, or a Protoss player that doesn't understand how to play a charge lock build order. So there's a couple of options there. You see some Zealots here running by, here on the mini-map, taking out a couple of these SCVs. That's important. Taking out your opponent's eco always is important. Kind of liking Ryung's position here, to be quite frank. 5 medevacs is a little bit on the low side for... Actually, 140 supply army is just fine. 5 medevacs are just gonna be fine. Ghosts are being popped out as well. +2 is 80% into finishing up. And at this point, I'm having a difficult time seeing how Skillous is going to take a forward base in this game. It's a pretty vital thing in this game. Ooh, nice. I really like it when both players show good mechanics. You know, this type of stuff. Good map awareness, good knowledge of what to do. So the probe got spotted by the mine moved closer, and then the probe moved away. It's a very minor thing, but it allows Skillous to have map vision on this side of the map still. So I think it's generally a good move. Generally a good move. A couple of mines here are being plopped down. Fort base being taken right now. And I would like to see a Zealot run by here towards this base to try and set up like getting that fort a little bit easier. Because right now with these EMPs, yeah, this fort feels like a massive risk. Yeah. It's just not going to be possible. You're down an upgrade. You're fighting with Colossus. No Archons to tank. No Disruptors either. Oh my good lord. Good Disruptor shot here is going to take out 8 to 8 supply. Not quite sure if that is going to be enough though. Ryung, oh yo, has Skillous on the ropes right now. At the same time, the Zealot run by is taking out a couple of these SCVs. If no eco damage gets done here, that could be okay-ish. Nice blinks coming out of Skillous, honestly. As this is a very ghost-heavy army, and funnily enough, that's probably not ideal against these Disruptors. Having a couple of extra Marines and Marauders would have not been too bad. Ooh, not quite going to connect with anything here. Next Disruptor shot hits a single Marauder. Skillous at 102 supply against 113, loses 7 workers, but stays alive. He lost a bunch of crap, but he doesn't die. Fort base is now on the way, 63 workers against 57. We have our Shadow Stride coming in. Ooh, that's that's some interesting prioritizing here for Skillous. Been an action-packed game. I guess he needs a tool to kind of counter-attack at some point as well. You can't just always defend. I mean, the Terran eco is just going to explode. Although I say that, Ryung's eco is not all that great. I mean, it's a different story if he's on 75, 76 workers here. He can basically throw down a command center whenever he wants at that point. And I wouldn't mind if he takes a fast 5th, but he first probably needs to add a couple of barracks anyway. Go up to 8 drags and then throw down that extra base. He just needs a lot of SCVs, to be quite frank. That should be the priority right now. You see Ryung moving across the map. There's a lot of Disruptors here. We see a major investment into Vikings, so Skillous really is getting the better end of that trade. There's not a single turret here. Let's take a look at this first person out of Ryung. Here we go. I think he noticed it. Yep, he definitely did notice it. Turret's going down right now. Scan's not available. One scan is available. Single D will get taken out. The other DT will be capable of taking out, what, maybe 2-3 more workers. EMP man walking back home, though. He's trying to get an EMP, but really shouldn't. I mean, there's no point. You can't get it. Oh, no, you can. Who am I kidding? He's going to end up getting that DT, actually. That's kind of nice. Mine, as a spotter, is going to, I think, take out a Stalker. Mines are almost always worth it if they're sprawled around the map like this. Great against run-bys, great for vision. Don't forget that Terrans like the F2 a lot, so at the same time, mines don't F2 with your main army when they're burrowed. It's another actual big thing. You might think that I'm joking, but this is something that Terrans do think about a lot. Ooh. Very close. Fairly frustrating there that Ryung did not see that. Frustrating for Ryung at least. This is a big army, by the way. Skillous is out of position or completely in of position. Can you be in position? No, in off position? No, you're just in position or out of position. DTs will get taken out, or at least will get, yeah, actually will get taken out. One of them will. This is scary because Skillous has, well, he has a clue that this is happening. He just doesn't have anything defensively, honestly. Just kind of hoping that Ryung believes that Skillous is good enough to have a defense. And luckily Ryung respects his opponent enough that he won't go in. Probably should have checked though, because definitely could have dealt some damage there a long while ago already. Surprising stuff. Skillous actually managing to kind of stabilize here on 5 bases now. Sure, he's still only on 6 gas, but his Disruptor count is freaking insane. The Disruptor is going to connect with 2 of these ghosts. That's an expensive Purification Nova. Good individual Stalker control here in this late game. Well, early stages of the late game perhaps. Where's the DTs at? I don't quite know. We have two fights happening at the same time right now. This is always difficult to manage for both players, of course. I think Ryung is getting the better end of his trade on the bottom right. Skillous is getting the better end of the trade on that top side. That means that Skillous wants to kind of start moving out. Disruptors, lots of observers here as well. Skillous being reset back to 4 bases. It's not the end of the world. Ryung still also on 4 bases. Will want to take his 5th right now with his flying command center. Ryung still on a very low eco. Has a bunch of cash in the bank though. Starts a fusion core. Are there any ship weapon upgrades? We have +1 done already. +2 could be on the way pretty soon. This is a really odd game. Both players being extremely low eco, but I think only Ryung by choice. Skillous kind of feels forced into staying on this very low eco because he can't really take extra bases. An interesting move as well. He's gonna basically walk into a surround here. It does mean that he can attack in any direction, except I guess to the north. Look at his surround setup. He's gonna take out these rocks. This is good movement. People really underestimate how difficult it often is to set up surrounds. Because whenever you watch surrounds happen, we're always kind of in this zoomed out mode, you know? But if you're in a mode like this, like you have way less space on your screen, and navigating all your different groups requires a lot more work. Good clicking on the minimap often, but also you need to make sure that the correct units are in front to attack the correct damage. It's like setting up surrounds can be quite tricky. Ooh, good initial disruptor shots here. It's definitely going to help. I don't think this is possible to fight for Ryung if he stays defensively. Wouldn't mind if this army just goes across the map here and says, hey, I don't think I can fight it like this. I'm just gonna go and try and base trade a little bit. I think that would not be a terrible call. Once again, Skillous trying to walk into a bit of a surround here. Skillous moving in towards the 3rd base will eventually get cleaned up by the army that is there. Or I can only imagine it's eventually gonna get cleaned up. More purification novas being sent out. Skillous taking this game back from an almost unwinnable position. Now in a position where, I don't want to say he's ahead, but he's in an okay spot. 65 workers against 58. I was going to say I'd love for Skillous to add some more workers, but really he just doesn't have the bases available. He's been taking bases so slow that being on 65 workers the entire game probably was the correct call. Disruptors trying to move into position. Once again, Ryung is moving out on the map right now. This looks a little bit like he wants to go and kill that right side base. Oh, just barely misses an observer. Super frustrating. Oi, 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 oi. That actually is super frustrating. Here we go. Can we hit an EMP? Yes, we can. Yes, we can indeed. More disruptors moving in right now. That's 11 disruptors. There is vision in the back, so this type of flank is going to be difficult to make work. Skillous is moving in quite deep though. Uh-oh, he's moving in way too deep. A lot of disruptor shots being fired off to the bottom side. Was not paying attention to his observer there, which saw everything. Huge around here. And I actually think that Ryung is winning this fight in a big, big way as well. All of these disruptors are going to get taken out. Even with a recall, they will not be capable of leaving this place intact. And I think that might actually be it. Skillous with a enormous error. An enormous error there. Just not quite seeing what's going on. Ay, ay, ay. Completely missing a fight like this is painful. 2DTs, however, are moving in. Ryung is going to go for... Well, it's not really a base trade because he's not losing much of anything anymore. Managed to secure his own main base once again. Double DT still heading in towards his base. Go in for the snipe on the turret. Will get it. Couple of scans, however, are available. There's one ghost at home, but not ready with an EMP. So scan will need to be used. Blink is off of cooldown. Or sorry, it's on cooldown still. That also won't be too helpful. Skillous technically still up in mining, especially once these workers finish transferring. There perhaps still is a possibility here for Skillous to get back into it, but he'll need some fantastic disruptor shots. He'll need to also continue to kind of keep pressure onto his opponent. He's going to lose the Observer as well as a Dark Templar here. Has Observers spread all around the map, so the vision is pretty much perfect. There is the gravitic boosters as well as the drive, so both the Prism speed as well as the Observer speed, which is just extremely good, and I would almost even say completely broken here, as there's just so much speed on these Observers, so much vision. I mean, vision is nice, but just because you have good eyes doesn't mean that you'll be capable of winning. instead to rabbits, who have perfect eyesight, but if they fight against a wolf, they won't win. I'm sure wolves have good eyesight as well. I feel like they have better sense of smell. Maybe they also have very good eyesight. Wolf is kind of like a dog, isn't it? Dogs are practically domesticated wolves. I'm probably wrong on that as well. If you know something about wolves and dogs, please let me know in the comments. I'm actually rather curious right now. This game does still feel pretty over. So we now have the left side base taken out. There's just not enough bases to mine from here. Ryung once again is already making a rotation. He's going to get spotted here by this observer. Scans and sees it. As the vision is declining here. We do have 6 disruptors. And disruptors, they can change a game around, but the way that Ryung has been playing so far this game makes me believe that 6 disruptors just by themselves aren't going to be good enough. EMP goes down. Yeah, and lips are moving forward as well. So you need to blink into this eventually. This is with +2 ship weapons as well, which means that Stalkers are going to get 1 shot after being EMP'd. Yeah, this looks absolutely fabulous here. Absolutely fabulous here for Ryung. GG gets called. Skillous stabs out as our Korean Terran player wins the game here. That is going to be it for me today. If you did enjoy this game, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hopefully I'll see all of you next time for a new video. Thanks so much for watching, and bye-bye.